So this is Steve, and I'm here with Zach Bonahoom. Zach is a Republican running for the for the city of Fort Wayne City Clerk.
Yep.
Appreciate your time today, Zach.
Yeah, thank you.
A few weeks ago, you rolled out a digital toolkit. Why don't you talk to me a little bit about that?
Okay. The paperless initiative, the digital toolkit, Steve, I like to call it the third phase. Right now we can communicate face to face, we can communicate on paper, we can have written communication. The third phase is digital communication. So that is what I would like to implement in government. Other cities have done it, and it's saved them a lot of money. They've done a great job with it. Small businesses and large businesses have implemented digital technology and paperless initiatives as well. And private businesses do it because it saves them money, and they're worried about the bottom line. I think that when it comes to technology and this digital toolkit, this paperless initiative, we should be worried about the bottom line too. We can cut down thousands and thousands of sheets of paper. I mean, stacks of paper we can cut down every year if we start to utilize technology. And the reason I call it the third phase is because I'm not advocating, eliminating verbal communication or written communication altogether. It's just is the final piece to that puzzle for the world that we live in right now.
What are some of the components that are involved in that?
Absolutely. It's very simple, and it wouldn't be difficult for people to catch on to as far as council people and others in government. It's a transition that would take maybe a month at the most to implement, and what it would include is some sort of technology at the council table for council people. And the benefits of that are many. A few that come to mind initially, and these are part of the plan, is the ability to take an ordinance, and if it needs to be amended at the table, which we've seen this many times, happens many times every year, if it needs to be amended at the table, the council people can get on whatever electronic device is in front of them, maybe it's an iPad, maybe it's a small computer, whatever, and whoever is proposing the amendment can type out the amendment, and everybody can see it right there in front of them. There's no confusion as to what did you mean on that, what am I voting for now. It's all clear to everybody sitting at the table, including the city clerk, so the clerk can then go record that in the proper fashion. So that's one example where having some piece of technology in front of the council people will really help. The second area where I think it will really help is every week at city council, if you've ever been there, anybody watching has ever been there, you see a council table and it's full of stacks and stacks of paper. Some of it is the agenda, the ordinances that are up for discussion, whatever. It's in front of them, and they're stacks. For council people, they could have this all on an electronic device, and it would cut down on virtually all of that paper. It would be as simple as in order to show the council men and women how to use a piece of technology in front of them, it'd be as simple as a couple hours on a Saturday afternoon to say, here's how you pull up your agenda, and here's how you pull up all the ordinances that are up for discussion. Now, that's just one piece of it. The other aspect of it is transparency and open government, which Fort Wayne right now is, in my opinion, so far behind. We as citizens do not have access to everything that we should have access to, everything that cities who are ahead of us have access to. And what I mean by that is you and I should be able to go online at least 24 hours, I would say 48 hours prior to a council meeting, and we should be able to see and read in full the ordinances that are coming up for discussion, the ordinances that are up for passage, etc. That would be part of this digital toolkit. With the click of a button at fortwayneCityClerk.com, you would be able to download the entire toolkit, and included in that would be what I just mentioned, the agenda for the next council meeting, the ordinances up for discussion or passage or introduction or what have you, and every little map or every little presentation, if it may be a budget presentation that's coming up, and the council people get to see that on a big screen in the council chambers. But if we're sitting at home watching the council meeting, we don't have access to that. We should be able to click one button, download it, and view it right there, follow along with the council meeting on our computers. Now that leads me into the next aspect of the paperless initiative and digital toolkit, and that is the ability to watch the council meeting live on your computer at home. Right now we currently have streaming that comes in a couple days after the council meeting has been recorded. You can have access to it online. I think it's easy. I know that it can be done for free or for a very low cost to stream those meetings live. We have the cameras in there already. It would take a couple of adapters and an account online to stream those council meetings, and then you and I could watch from home. We could follow along with what we've downloaded in the digital toolkit, and I can see that being not only beneficial, the first part of it beneficial to the environment, we're saving paper, but the second part of it is beneficial to any citizen that wants to watch, and especially local business owners and business owners out of town who are maybe looking to relocate here in Fort Wayne. And the theory behind that is that if I'm a business owner in Chicago and I want to relocate to somewhere where there's a lower cost of living for my employees, lower taxes, etc., Fort Wayne is my place. So I want to know everything about Fort Wayne's government. As that entrepreneur, I want to know how hard or easy it's going to be for me to do business in Fort Wayne, and this is one way that I'd be able to do that from my home in Chicago if I'm an out-of-town business owner. So I think that adding the third phase, the digital technology, to our government really opens it up not only for citizens but for businesses looking to possibly locate here in Fort Wayne. We're difficult to access right now. I always like to say that the front door to city government, which is the clerk's office, is closed right now, and it wouldn't take much to open that. We should open it.
Well, and you talked about the streaming of council meetings,
Yes.
and currently that's available if you have FiOS or you have Comcast or
Right. That's we're seeing a trend, especially with Frontier now pulling out of the TV business. At least that's what it seems like. We're seeing a trend where more and more people do not have access to that public access channel that we all pay for, of course, and so it makes the third phase even more important. It makes it, let's put it this way, it's standard in other cities, and in Fort Wayne, for some reason, it's not. It's no excuse for a city of our size to not be up to date with technology, and this kind of technology that I'm talking about starts in the clerk's office.
And to kind of go back to the second part of that, you were talking about making everything available with the ordinances, because the ordinance is a very small part of what's actually going on. I mean, there's several times that if you look at just the ordinance, it doesn't tell you a lot.
Right.
And what's to be told is in the papers that the city council has.
Right. It's the that summary that we see, that the public can see on the agenda. That's all it is a summary. I mean, you don't know, take any example of any ordinance, we don't get the specifics. So we hear council bickering back and forth, and we can read what we read in the paper about it, but unless we have an objective view ourselves of the ordinance that they're discussing, they've all been privy to, but we as taxpayers have not, we don't really know what's going on. We don't know the whole story. We can take what we read in the paper, we can take what we see at council, but we kind of have to piece it together like a puzzle right now, whereas if we had access to that, which we should, we wouldn't have to do that.
And that feeds right into the transparency of the open government issue.
Absolutely. That's all it is opening the front door to city government, and it's disappointing to me that Fort Wayne has not done this, because it's such a simple thing to do. It's not, I mean, for someone who is somewhat experienced in technology, I can tell you that it would take, I mean, this could be done in the first week. That's how simple it's become, and it frankly doesn't cost anything. You know, I think it's the best of both worlds. You're becoming more transparent, and you're doing it for free. You know.
Okay.
You know, I'll add one thing, Steve. John McGauley, Allen County Recorder, has done a lot of this. I mean, he has laid a blueprint for paperless initiatives and digital technology in government. He has cut down annually, paper use and print-offs, etc. His stacks of paper, and a lot of paper shuffles through that office, a lot of paper shuffles through the city council. He has cut down by 36,000 sheets of paper a year. He gave me that number when I rolled out this plan, and that's a staggering number, I think. 36,000 sheets of paper a year is what the Allen County Recorder is saving, and I think we could save at least that at the city council.
Anything else about the digital toolkit that you'd like to talk about or mention?
You know, it's all I can say is that it's long overdue. It's something that my generation, you know, we're getting our news, we're getting our TV shows, etc. We're viewing them online. You know, I firmly believe that in 15 years, that's going to be where everybody goes for their news or for their entertainment, and we have to be on the front lines when it comes to being available to people. It's about transparency and open government.